Welcome back to Hippo Cup, everybody. We are here for yet another afternoon match. We'll have two more for the round of semifinals. I totally didn't play in this tournament and totally didn't just forget what round it was this week. We have Team John Porler versus effectively the entire country of Poland playing against each other today. This is a lower bracket matchup. We have a 5th seed versus the 8th seed in this matchup here. Teams comprise John Porler of Boshiman, Suntan CTM, Burn Costel, 315, Emacetic Taro, 1 Tabby, 80 Nuggets, and none other than Tony himself. 80 Nuggets being Caleb as well. On the side of wiedza2, I'm not even going to attempt to butcher that name every single time I say it during this match. Bartek, the captain, joined by Mishni, Alimentar, Tartis, Demo, Bobiak, Majore, Koshiarek, and the Luzhna of Dark. So we've got some legacy players on the red team today, or on the blue team, and then we've got some newer faces popping up here. It should be interesting to see how they fare against each other on this seeded matchup here. Now, seedings in Hippo Cup a bit more arbitrary than a lot of other tournaments, being the 1 seed, the 2 seed, the 3 seed, the 4 seed does not necessarily give you a major advantage over, you know, the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th seeds coming out of these top 16 into the bracket, as evidenced by the overall performances of teams like Dadunai, the 13th seed, being in the winner's bracket, defeating the number 1 seed 7-1 this weekend. But this is, regardless, a 5th seed versus an 8th seed matchup today, which means that we do have a minor seed disparity here. 3 seeds difference. That is still 2 top 8 teams, though. And out of the side of John Porler, we're going to be getting a no mod 5 first pick. And we are going to jump straight into things. We even got through the picks and bans rather quickly as well here. But that no mod 5, of course, going to be Chrono Diver. This is a reading-based pick here. Low AR, normal circle size though. AR 7. You're looking for those 2 hidden players to really make a pretty decent bit of difference here on this map. Again, the 2 hidden requirement means that a lot of those teams that fare well on the hidden modification will be more favored on these low AR picks. Chrono Diver being no exception here. Not too consistency-based. It is 1 minute and 55 seconds, so you're not looking at the longest pick that you've ever seen, but it does still require that consistency. It does still require the reading, and that AR7 lower than most teams would be comfortable with, unless you've got more than 2 players here. There is a lot of potential for teams to get 4th playered on this map, as we do tend to see on some of these mid-stage reading picks here. As we get later stage, you'll see that a little bit less, but I think there's still a chance that we may see teams falling on that 4th player. Now, I don't necessarily worry about that too much between these 2 teams. I think we've got a good 4 roster for all sides on this one. But we're really just looking at who's going to be stronger, who's going to have the good double hidden as well is a big point. Looks like we've got Burn Costel, Suntan, Tony, and 1 Tabby in for John Porler, Bartek, Koshiarek, Mishni, and the Luzhna of Dark. And good luck, have fun's out. So we're seeing a couple of interesting decisions for both rosters here. I definitely would have picked a couple of different players on either side, but it is pick number 1 of the match, and we are not going to speculate on anything until we get through at least a map or 2 here. Best of 13, even though we're in semifinals, because welcome to Hippo Cup, because once we go up to finals weekend, we jump up another rating. Grand Finals being best of 15, some of the longest Grand Finals in the game for tournaments here. And map number 1, Burn Costel Suntan on the hidden for the side of John Porler. It's going to be Bartek and the Luzhna of Dark for the Pulse on the right-hand side there. It's going to be a double break from Suntan and Tony to start things off here. Koshiarek finding the only major break on that side, and Bernkastel going to find another miss here for the team, the higher seeded team here today. Again, the 5th seed being on the left. Some decent combos being built up on both sides, though, and the Poles are going to take a bit of a lead here. Wiedza really not much that's going to happen in this midsection. Comfortable. You've got hidden players holding for the Poles right now. Koshiarek going to find another break, but that works in their favor. The same player continuing to break over and over means that these 3 other combos are maintaining strong here. And we talk about teams getting 4th playered. Well, the Poles would have been 4th playered if John Porler would have been able to put up a single combo on anyone here, but really just struggles across the board, not very comfortable on their opening pick. Even the players that we would have really expected to have a great time on this Bernkastel and 1-tabby, even on the Nomad, really unexpected to see this much trouble from them. And as we come into the Buzz Sliders at the ending, we do see a couple of breaks, namely from Bartek on that right-hand side, but rocking in with the hidden, not too much of a big deal there. Mishni is going to find a break, but it's going to be the Luzhna of Dark bringing it into the ending. Coming very, very close to being able to almost 1v4 John Porler here. Going to be over 6 million. Going to be, what, maybe above, actually, by the ending here. And I think it is going to be, yes, the Luzhna of Dark going to be with the single standout performance. 0 misses, 0 50s, 2 100s, a perfect combo. And the 1v4... absolutely demolishing that pick. Complete with the perfect combo, no less, and some crazy backing. Mishni, only a single miss there, coming in. 4 million score there. Another good 4 million from Bartek on the side. And a very, very strong start from the Polish team here as John Porler loses their first pick of the match. Best of 13, plenty of room to work with here, but that's going to give them a pretty sizable advantage here to jump on that reading pick early. There is a couple left in the pool that they're going to capitalize on potentially later. There's a lot to go through. Again, long match, big map pool here. That is one of 8 Nomads to exist throughout the entire pool here, and I'm interested as to where they're going to go for their opening pick. The consolidation, despite the high best of, is still something that they're going to want to grab early. This team with John Porler here is definitely good enough to sneak a couple of points away immediately if they don't plan this carefully. We'll wait and see. And really no speculation here on what they are potentially going to pick into. There are significant number of avenues, and they're going to go for the big aim. They're going to go for the Grand Senpai map. Only 2 minutes. But it's aim. It's Nomad 1. And it's probably going to give some players some trouble in here. I'm definitely looking for those big aim stars. And with everyone having left the lobby, we're either getting practicing on both sides or nobody wants to play this map. And honestly, either option is probably likely. We'll see who comes back in for both sides. We just got Bobiak in the lobby right now. Bernkastel going to be the first one in. Minus Aura on the DT6 ban. I was unaware that DT6 was banned. That is quite unlucky. The Red Velvet map gone. Least sleeper intro to a song of all time. We'll just sit here yawning as this very exciting upbeat song continues to play. We'll wait for everyone to hop in the lobby here. Rehash the bands for you all. Bands from John Porler, Double Time 6, and Hard Rock 4. So that Precision map gone. And that DT6, that 10.5, one of them. And from the Polish side, both free mod bands. We got a free mod 1 band and a free mod 4 band. So that tapping-favored, rhythm-favored Scub Domino map down there on There Are Many Colors, and then Gigantic OT and the Spartan overlapping triple back and forths on that free mod 1. Decent bands. Don't want to contest with the overall mod ability on the side of John Porler. Bit of a stronger lineup that I'm seeing right now for John Porler on this No Mod 1 than I think we saw for that first pick on No Mod 6. Good aim roster overall. Got Caleb Amacetic, 1Tabby, and Suntan going to be making a reappearance here. And a couple of switches out for the Poles. Bartek and Mishny staying in here. Koshiarek, I believe, playing the last pick as well. So just Tartus on the switch out here. That's a one-player swap for one team, and Amacetic and Caleb for John Porler. They're going to want to turn this around early. Again, don't want to let this consolidated breakpoint go away, but this is the pick back now. Hidden on Caleb Suntan, hidden on Mishny Bartek, up and down on both sides. And the shortest intro of all time, because we don't like cutting off introductory audio from the songs. Who wants to start talking about the weather while we wait for the intro to this song to skip? Hope everyone's doing all right this morning. Got another match coming up after this one. We've got Meowing Simulator versus Worldwide Choppers as our final map of the weekend at 20 UTC. That'll be in approximately an hour and 45 minutes. This is one of the more exciting songs that could have had an intro this long. Amacetic, that's a cool sword. Is that a sword or an umbrella? Oh, the skip. We're in. Okay, we're into it. We're into it now. Struggles on both sides. Double miss from the Poles. 1Tabby and Caleb with the two big misses. Amacetic and Suntan to hold. It's Tartus and Mishny to be holding the hidden. One on both sides. The next break could give this up for one of these teams right now. Again, not a long map, but it's going to be Suntan to find a break again. Fairly close. Really not too much giving an advantage over here, and with Caleb putting up a big supporting combo, but dropping it, and there goes Amacetic as well. It's now Tartus and Mishny. They are locked in for this map. The hidden Mishny actually missing because he went the wrong way on a triple. It is now Tartus through the space streams, the only one to be holding. Did the mind games pay off? Did the non-skipping at the beginning affect John Porler? It certainly didn't affect Tartus, who is absolutely ripping through these space patterns here. The only one in the lobby to have a great time on this one right now. It's a triple break from his teammates. John Porler with some big combos, but there goes 80 nuggets and 1Tabby. Tartus finally to break. We will not be seeing a 1v4 again from the Poles. But it is certainly all but lost for John Porler. A quarter of the way left to the map now, and it's only 2.5 million scores standing in between with this note density. I'm not sure it's possible, and with Suntan missing on that big hexagon, I think that might have just done it. Tartus putting in the work. 5 million score, double the next closest player on Mishny with the hidden in that top left spot there. But nobody on John Porler able to put up an equivalent performance. Better overall as a team, though. I mean, there's only one player on John Porler in that 1 million score zone. And on the Polish side, it's Koshiarek and Bartek, both in that 1 million range. But Tartus with the massive performance and a 2 million score gap. Basically on their score alone, that's 2 million difference between Tartus and Suntan as the highest scores on both teams here. And that is a massive first half performance to bring them to a consolidated break point at the start of this match. And an unlucky start for John Porler here. Only one pick lost technically for them, so it's not the end of the world. But you definitely don't want to let this momentum skip away from you at the start of a match here. Again, best of 13. We still have 5 points left to go at the minimum here. And John Porler goes into their next pick. Again, it's only one actual pick lost for John Porler, so we are far from unreachable in performances right now. And we definitely saw some better performances from John Porler on that No Mod 1 than we did on the No Mod 6 overall. So confidence still reigning high for their ability to continue to fight for this match. But a very, very strong start and some big solo performances from the Polish roster here to start the day off again. It really has not been a difference of the team. It has been that top-level performance from at least one player that has made a very, very big difference. Double time 3, going to be that next pick out of John Porler here. We're jumping down into the double times. It's going to be the minus 45 Inna pick. 3 minutes, 225 BPM DT stamina. Again, jumping into the mechanics for John Porler now. A bit of a switch up. They started off with No Mod 5 on Chrono Diver, that reading map, that CS5 AR7 map. We're going to bring it down to DT3, which is one of the lower approach rating double times at sub AR10. But on the longer end, being the longest DT in the pool at 3 minutes long, requiring a bit more consistency overall. We're definitely making a pretty big turnover with what we are seeing in these opening picks. Again, a complete 180 for John Porler. But the question is, who has the advantage overall? Who is going to be more versatile on this large map pool? We're seeing, again, some more roster switches for John Porler here. Tartis, Bartek, and Mishny in once again. Amasthetic, Suntam, 315 as another roster switch for John Porler. And it looks like we might be getting Tony, potentially. But there's Caleb in that 4th slot, so maybe not. Luzna of Dark once again making an appearance. And we'll just wait on that 4th. And it's going to be Bobiak. Both rosters set. And to have fun, good luck, have fun. Oh, and it's a last-minute switch on the Polish side. Mishny going to be taking that spot for Bobiak on that top right. So only one player swap for John Porler, none that we haven't seen yet from the Polish side. Get one quick sync up. Hidden running on Caleb and Suntan once again. And who's got the stamina for this extended burst map here? Again, 3 minutes and it's low approach rating, but 225 BPM. This will start to eat away at your fingers as you start to progress through this map. We're already seeing some struggles on accuracy from both sides here. A little bit higher struggle level here from John Porler, lower as a team. But that accuracy really isn't going to make a difference in a score V1 tournament here, although it is going to give a pretty sizable lead at the start here, given the fact that everyone's FCing, but that miss from Bartek is going to matter so much more, as John Porler is going to start to steal back this score lead. 315 making that a little bit slower than it needs to be from an early break. But that's a trade out from both sides. Score lead going to stay the same now. Mishny going to find a break. And that's John Porler's first big lead of this match on any pick. They've been behind on every map so far at the start. And this is going to be their first opportunity to start gaining that lead early. Quarter of the way through, the full combos remaining for 3 players on John Porler. It's Tartus and Luzhna of Dark to prevent certain disaster here from the Polish side. One of those players with the hidden. Unfortunately for them on John Porler, it's 2 of the hidden players still remaining. The accuracy is leaving something to be desired here, but it is still going to be a bigger score lead on that hidden modification, that 1.06. Suntan missing on absolutely nothing, and Tragedy strikes, but it's Tartus to trade out the break. Luckily for John Porler, they are maintaining that full combo advantage. It's going to be 1 player still gaining score for John Porler. It's only 5 million. It's not a major difference, but it's enough to hold, and it's only Luzhna of Dark to be holding up on that side. It's the hidden double time play. 1 hidden double time remaining on Caleb. The accuracy not inspiring confidence, but Amasthetic certainly is 98% accuracy. That's that double time performance you're looking for, and some great supporting score from 315 here, matching Mishni. Bartek with an unchecked combo here, though. If we see one of these FCs break on John Porler, things could get interesting. But as we approach a quarter of the way remaining in the map, we are starting to run out of time. And there goes Luzhna of Dark, and John Porler has seemed to have done it. An amazing performance from 80 Nuggets and Amasthetic here. And that's 10 million plus for them. First point on the board, second pick going far better for them. And that is going to be double time 3 on the board. We'll look out for these good scores into the beginning, but this can only go in favor of John Porler right now, and the double break from Mishni and Bartek is going to solidify it as if it wasn't already. Combo still maintaining. Suntan, unchecked hidden double time, a singular miss from them. And as the map gets quite intense into the ending, we're going to see a break from Caleb, not the double FC, but Amasthetic bringing that in. The only full combo in the lobby, the highest score because of Caleb's break, and that is a 34 million score lead for John Porler, effectively meaning that they could have had 1 less player and still won that pick. And a big turnaround from John Porler on their second map here. First one not going too well, that one making a statement. They let that slip up at the start, but it is not going to happen again. They still do need to consolidate on a breakpoint, though. It does need to be noted that that is getting their own pick back, but as long as the Poles here maintain that breakpoint that they were able to consolidate, then they will be able to win this match without John Porler being able to contend or contest for that tiebreaker. So they are going to need to sneak a breakpoint away here sometime during the course of this match. Now, there's plenty of time to do that in. They effectively have 5 points left that the Poles need in order to win the match, in order to find a breakpoint. And they need 4 more before tiebreaker is forced. So more than enough time for something to happen here. It's going to be Hard Rock 3. We're going to our 3rd original map pool here. We've gone Nomad into Double Time into Hard Rock now. It's going to be Dark Legacy. Picking some of the shorter maps in here today. Minute and 48 seconds. And again, John Porler, technically the higher seeded team in this matchup, although as we've seen, doesn't really make too much of a difference in this tournament whether or not you're the higher seeded teams. We've seen close matchups regardless. So we'll wait for those rosters to get switched out again here. Not going to do too much analysis on these picks here, given that anything can really happen. Roster's looking to be set here. Waiting for those good luck, have funs before we make any determination on what's going to happen here, but we are looking at repeated rosters with one switch out for the polls. It's going to be LBR3. And both rosters have been set for quite a while. We're still not seeing that good luck, have fun. There it is, finally. Alrighty, Hidden, Hard Rocks, back up, Burn Castell, and Suntan. For the polls, it's LBR3 and Bartek on the Hidden. This is the smallest circle size map in the pool after Hard Rock 4 was banned out by the Polish team. Ending up going back into Hard Rock despite banning the Precision is quite the bold move. Now, 6.5 a little bit different than CS7, but we're already seeing some struggles on both sides with the Precision ability. Mishny, most well-known in terms of a legacy player for his Precision ability. Definitely one of the better players from Poland historically for this skill set. Kosiarek not too far behind in terms of being able to back that up. Both of them going to likely have a very good time on this pick here. Not noticing any other Hard Rock primary players in this lobby, so we might be seeing this come down to these two players on the Polish side. Again, not much in terms of struggles here, but LBR3 and Burn Castell finding some struggles on that stream section there. 315 dropping that big combo on the side of John Porler, as well as everyone else in the lobby. The final FC gone on Mishny with that big breakdown section there. Unbelievably difficult density changes. And Bartek to also trade that off with Kosiarek following in suit. That is everyone in the lobby having been reset. John Porler with a very, very small combo lead, but certainly not enough to bring back this 2+ million score difference. And Mishny and Kosiarek probably have done enough here into the end. We're going to be seeing a couple more breaks, but I don't think there's enough note density here at the ending. Even if John Porler held combos on all 4 players into the ending, I think it might have been lost. It's going to come down to roughly 2 million here. But that's Kosiarek holding into the ending to match whatever Burn Castell is going to be putting up, and it is going to finish with that 2 million score gap here roughly into the ending. Just barely going to be less than it. John Porler not able to consolidate their pick on a break point there, as the Polish team continues to look strong on their own maps there. LBR3 struggling a little bit. Burn Castell also struggling just a little bit on the accuracy department there. But nonetheless, they had their teams to support them. Burn Castell going for the combo over the accuracy, which we love to see in Hippo Cup. Combo is everything in this tournament. Unfortunately for John Porler, Mishny and Kosiarek are going to be the two biggest combos in the lobby on the same team on that Hard Rock pick. And despite that Hard Rock 4 ban going to be displaying that they are certainly the more comfortable team on the Precision, fortunately for John Porler, that is the only Precision map in the map pool remaining. The CS 6.5 plus is now gone. Hard Rock 1 and 2 at CS 5.1 and 5.9 respectively. They are not going to be rocking the Precision any longer in this pool unless we start to see some of those free mods start to come out, and even then, it is still not possible at CS4 for both of the remaining free mods. There is no anti-mod free mod this week. There is no 6.5 free mod. So we're going to go back to John Porler, who seemed to have a bit of an advantage in the double time pool, but they are going to go for free mod. So they're going to keep up the mechanics, but they're not going to go back into double time. It's 237 BPM bursts on Xenobeat. 2.5 minutes long. This map generally favored for the Hard Rock mod players, I want to say. Especially if you can play these bursts pretty comfortably. The Hidden with that density does tend to prove to be difficult. But this is a legacy pick here. Most players, if not all of them in this lobby, should have played this map in tournament match at least once or twice over their career, if not more. Meaning that this is a pretty even boundary when it comes to 4v4. Now the question is, who's comfortable on the consistency, who's comfortable on the aim, and who's here to bring it with the mods today is where the difference is going to be. John Porler seeming to have the advantage on raw mechanics in the match thus far. The Polish team seeming to have a bit more of a stronghold on the gimmick skill sets, the precision, the reading, and that awkward big aim that we saw in Nomad 1. Now again, this map is not just pure mechanics though. While there are bursts on this map, and while there is a certain element of a stamina requirement in here, this is breakcore. And that does mean that there are some aim patterns in here. It does get a little bit on the techie side with some of the slider jumps. And that may prove to be difficult for anyone who is not very, very comfortable at tapping this BPM with consistent bursts. It looks like we're going to get our finalized rosters very soon. Suntan, Emesetic, 315, and Caleb. Bartek, Tartis, Luzna of Dark, and our final player for the Poles waits to be seen. Unless this is just Bancho playing a trick on us, it's Mishni. So there's actually quite a bit hanging in the balance of Xenobeat right now. This is a big pick for both teams. For John Porler, it would mean getting their second pick on the board and continuing to keep this match even. For the Poles, it would mean getting another break point up and putting them just 2 maps away from that tiebreaker position. John Porler, again, has looked better on the mechanics thus far, but this map is not just conventional mechanics in most cases. And we'll see how that favors them. But we've got double hidden on the side of the Poles, so we have the reading favored map versus the hard rock on one side here for John Porler and the hidden on the other on Suntan. Both sides struggling heavily at the beginning of this map. This is not the section of the map that you should be struggling on right now. That was the easiest part of the map by far going into this build-up section here for the remainder, but the map is only going to get harder from that beginning. It's only going to get more constant. Those patterns are going to repeat even more. And that's a favored start for John Porler by quite a bit. That's already a 2 million score gap. Caleb and Emesetic both on very good accuracy as well, which inspires confidence for the remainder of the pick. It's also very nice to see your 2 Nomad players being the ones who are confident on this map. You don't want your Nomad players to be the ones struggling. Unfortunately, for the Poles, it's a singular FC to go up against it, and it's another break from Nishni that goes untraded at this point. It's a 6 million score difference, and we're going to need to see a break from one of these FCs on John Porler very soon. It's 80 nuggets, but Suntan and 315 to both hold. They have better supporting score. 36 million. It's still that 5 to 6 million score difference. This section of the map will make all of the difference here. Will we see another break? Will we see Suntan or Emesetic fail here? Will we see Bartek or Luzna find the break? It's going to be on whoever finds that miss, but the score lead is growing and the time is going down. It's a double break from triple break even from John Porler, but Emesetic to hold. Can Bartek's supporting combo be enough? He cannot find a break. The shakes into the ending and he holds. Do the Poles have it? It's 3 million score into the ending, and I'm not sure if Bartek has enough support in him. I think the Poles needed one more, but no, it looks like it's going to come back. Bartek and Luzna of Dark holding the combos into the ending. Emesetic cannot do it by himself. There's only a little bit left to go, and Emesetic finds the break. Luzna of Dark, 99.9% accuracy. Unbelievable. Does find the slider break into the ending, but it's Bartek to hold with the hidden, and John Porler losing their pick on Xenobeat, and the Poles make it to 4-1. The last possible moment for the breaks to come out. Amacetic could not do it by himself, and a break point once again falls into the favor of the blue team. As we now look for 2 more maps from them before tiebreaker point. John Porler, 4 points to catch up if they are not able to take a break point here. It certainly was not an issue at the start of the match, but it is starting to become one. A best of 13, leaving a lot of wiggle room here. But that's 2 break points on the board, and only their own pick to speak of for John Porler, as they now need to build up 2 break points against a Polish team who is playing out of their minds today. At the start of the match, it was the solo carries that were really bringing them through, but they have very much rounded themselves out as a roster with that double performance from Bartek and Luzhna during that pick. Unbelievable hidden performance from Bartek there. That map is very, very dense on that mod, making it feel completely different from that hard rock modification here, even though the circle size isn't too bad. And the next pick to come out from the Poles, potentially to consolidate this breakpoint again. John Porler, they need a breakpoint now. That is 2 maps under their belt now. And if they're not able to snag one back now, it's going to become increasingly hard as the match continues to go. And it's going to be Hard Rock 1, it's going to be Trauma Recorder. We're going back into the aim. John Porler, they didn't look amazing on the Nomad 1 earlier, but this Hard Rock 1 is significantly more conventional in terms of its mapping style and how comfortable they are likely to be. So likely we'll see some similar rosters to what we saw for the Nomad 1, but again, a big avenue for John Porler to potentially get back into this map, being a little bit more conventional, being a little bit more comfortable, potentially. Now, that's definitely not the word that I ever thought I would use to describe Alden aim, but when you compare it to Nomad 1, it certainly does fit the bill. The roster's almost set here. I believe this was also the longest map left in the pool in terms of consistency. Just a slight bit longer on this map than Hard Rock. No, Hard Rock 2 is shorter as well. Yeah, so it looks like, unless they pick Nomad 6 or Nomad 2, this is one of the longer maps in here. It's the longest aim map left in the pool, but if anything is certain. It's also the last pure aim map in the pool. There really isn't any maps left in here that have just jumps. Double Time 1 is still up, but at 1 minute and 10 seconds and 270 BPM and the amount of triples that map has, it would be very difficult to call that an aim map as its primary skill set. It's definitely more on the speed side of things. So we are looking at what is likely our last aim map in the pool. And John Porler, what is potentially going to be one of their last opportunities to get a break point back before things get too dangerous here. A bit of a switch up for the mods. It's going to be one Tabby and Suntan on the hidden. This map very, very difficult with the hidden. More so than other picks. This awkward aim, these back and forth angles. And Alden jumps. The hidden is certainly not favored. It's like a little bit of a combo advantage here for John Porler at the start. And that does inspire some confidence for the remainder of this map here. Again, John Porler, generally when they've had a lead on a pick, they have maintained it. The dangerous part is when they fall behind early. Some more big breaks, but both sides are seeing misses here, so we really can't speculate too much on what could come in the remainder of this pick. One hidden hard rock left for both sides here. However, Elementaire going to be dropping that hidden hard rock for the Pulse. That's going to be Suntan now on the big combo. That's going to be the biggest in the lobby, and with another break coming out from the Polish side, it's just Tartus to try and maintain some sort of a connection here. One Tabby finding a break is going to help them, again, keep this score lead mitigated. If they can keep it around that lead, but that big rhythm switch there is going to catch a lot of people off guard, and luckily for John Porler, not Suntan. This is the skill set that you need Suntan to step on. He's very, very good with this. Big jump section here, but to maintain would be huge. It's going to be a break. It's Koshiarek on the hidden hard rock now, but some serious damage has been done from the side of John Porler. We would need to see a massive step up from Koshiarek in order for this pick to swing that score back to the other side. Misses from everyone on John Porler. We're seeing some struggle here. Tartus to find a break to trade that out. It's Mishni and Elementaire to hold some combo here, and this score lead is coming back far quicker than we thought. Absolutely no combos being held on John Porler right now. And Koshiarek putting in some serious work, hitting the back and forths with the sliders, and the 1/3 holds on the long slider, and Koshiarek stepping up when it matters, matching Suntan's big combo. Will the Pulse pull another pick back? It's the big square jumps, it's the big awkward angles, and these back and forths. Here we go into the ending, the wide angles. Koshiarek does find a slider break, but Mishni on the hard rock only, no hidden to speak of. Finally a slider break, and it's 80 nuggets into the ending for John Porler. It is a 1.8 actually million score gap here. And Caleb trying to do whatever they can at the ending. It's going to be so, so close. The score lead is going to be so, oh, it was almost there. 800,000 score difference. Caleb maybe was able to pull that back, but just not enough. So close. And both sides with an amazing performance from one player. It's Koshiarek and Suntan. 8.4 million to 8.4 million. Just a 60k score lead for Koshiarek there. 80 nuggets on Caleb there. Again, amazing. 6.5 million. But those two lower scores on John Porler on that top right and bottom left there, not able to match up from the overall 4.5 million plus score from every player on the right-hand side. And once again, that is a consolidated break point now for the second time. That is a 5-1 lead with one map to tiebreaker for the Pulse. John Porler, they looked good on the double time pick earlier today on that double time 3. They opted to go in for Xenobeat, and it almost worked out, but it didn't on the basis of some amazing performances and an FC from the Polish side. They may want to look to go back into that double time pool. Maybe that double time 1, go into the speed, go into the aim. Maybe try and find some advantage here. But at this juncture in a match, 4 points to be made up in the time that the Poles need 2 in order to win this match means that they need both of those break points back immediately. And there it is, the double time 4. They do end up going back in for it. It's going to be Vexations. So a completely different style double time map than what we saw. On that double time 3. We are looking at what could potentially be the start of a comeback for John Porler. It could all start with their pick right now. But they certainly need to make it happen on this map. They're running out of time. They're running out of picks. And the Poles have some serious momentum. So either they win this map and win the breakpoint and break that momentum, or they lose this map and the Poles are able to go up to tiebreaker point with only one for John Porler. Good luck, have funs. We'll break the silence back into the map now. Extremely short map. 1 minute and 1 second, but 300 BPM. This is pure speed. That's all this is. Who has a minute of speed in them? Let's just wait until halfway. Basically dead even. A larger break from TARDIS for being a little bit later in the map, but it's 3 FCs. TARDIS and 80 Nuggets. It's a double break from John Porler. It's a break from Mishni to trade it up. Bartek, it's Luzhna of Dark versus Amacetic. Who will hold? And it's the Finnish carry to hold down. It's Amacetic with the performance to hit the hardest part of the map. And John Porler is going to pull it through. The 500 combo for Amacetic, and that might just be enough. Unless Amacetic breaks immediately right now, the Poles are out of this one. The damage has been done. A quarter of the way left, and Amacetic, the star player here for John Porler today. We get a little bit of Bancho lag at the ending, but that is all for naught. A 1 million score gap on the back of Amacetic having the speed. And there it is, the solo carry from Amacetic. Some good supporting combos at the ending here from the remainder of John Porler, but that is almost 3 million score for them on the back of a 4.3 million from Amacetic. 98% accuracy, no less. Confident combo, and John Porler has gotten their pick. This is the start of the beginning for John Porler. They need the break point now. They cannot let the momentum from winning their own map go to waste. With only one map remaining before tiebreaker for the Poles, means that John Porler has absolutely zero wiggle room at this venture in the match. If the Poles are able to win this next map, that means 4 in a row into tiebreaker. So 5 full maps without a single loss from them. They need to make this back now. So we'll wait for that pick to come out here, but this could potentially be the deciding factor of this match. Whether or not John Porler sneaks this Hard Rock 2 away, or the Poles are able to win their 3rd Hard Rock map. They won Hard Rock 1 and 3. So despite banning Hard Rock 4, the Poles are going to go pick Hard Rocks 1, 2, and 3 following that. So they opted out of the CS7, but everything else is comfortable. This map, consistency-based, flow aim-based. Got some spacing changes in here, but relatively low intensity. This is about maintaining your aim control. And I'm not even sure what we're looking at for who has an advantage on this map. Again, these Hard Rocks so different. But thus far in this match, anything that hasn't been mechanics has generally favored the Polish roster. And I would not say this map is mechanics. Rosters seem to be set pretty early for this Hard Rock. Usually waiting just a little bit longer for these in. Tartus in the 1v7 right now, apparently. Good luck's having been spoken by at least 2, 3. Waiting for Bancho to return to us. A decent length map here as well on the Hard Rock pool. We went from that Hard Rock one at 3 minutes 18. We're at 3 minutes and 9 seconds now. So it went down a little bit. So we're not really looking for those early breaks here. There's going to be a couple of rhythm switches in the middle that we're going to look for some breaks on. But the start and stop nature of some of these patterns do tend to catch people off guard if you're not prepared for what this map holds. It's one break from both sides. Another break comes out from Tony, and Amacetic as well. That is absolutely disastrous for John Porler. You do not want to be going up against a confident 4 on this, effectively. It's just Caleb now on that hidden Hard Rock. But that is a dangerous spot to be on. You do not want to be relying on one player in a supporting combo when the other team effectively has now 3 FCs. Again, Elementaire missing early enough that it doesn't really make too much of a difference. But Mishny and Koshiarek both holding that combo. It's Caleb, and we'll say Suntan is basically at an FC right now. 100 combo down is going to make a bit of a difference here, but it's certainly not the end of the world. But Amacetic and Tony continuing to find breaks here is not good, and unless we see a meltdown from the Polish team, they're going to continue pulling away with this score lead. There's that break from Mishny. That's the start that they need. It's now 2 big combos to 2. And any miss from the Polish side here could give this one over. There's plenty of map left. We're only halfway through now. Does someone mess up the switch in the rhythm here? It starts on a beat early, and it's Elementaire and Koshiarek both get caught out by it. Caleb and Suntan, they know the map, they know the switch, and they know how to bring this one back. Their confidence inspires many here. 99% act for Suntan, barely falling. He finally misses, but all they need is Caleb. That's all they need. It's already down to 3 million score, and he's pulling it back now. It's 2 million. It's 1 million score difference now. That is nothing in the grand scheme of this map. And as long as Caleb holds through this next pattern, it's going to go over. And there it is. Score lead John Porler. At the last possible second they needed it to happen, it comes through. Caleb with the solo carry. It's a 1 million score lead for John Porler now, and unless we see the break, that is going to be it. TARDIS with a big combo into the ending here, but it's not going to be enough. We will not even speak of it at the ending here, but the time runs low. The combo is high, and there is no way for the Poles to come back into this at the ending with the note density. And that is Caleb with the monster hidden hard rock performance exactly when it was needed, hitting the switch into the ending and the full combo to save John Porler on a break point, the first of 2 necessary to get back into this match. And what a performance it was. That is a 3.6 million, even more actually. That is basically 4.2 million score lead into the ending for John Porler. And they really pulled that one back when they needed to. Lower accuracy, but the combo held, and that's exactly what you needed. Those breaks from the Polish side on that rhythm switch, we called it out a little bit beforehand, but it has caught so many players off guard this weekend, and there were no exceptions in this lobby today. But all that mattered is that there was one that wasn't caught by it. Strong stuff from John Porler. We said it was the beginning of the comeback for them on winning their own pick. Well, they have now accomplished 50% of the job for the rest of this match, which is taking that break point back. Now they must grab one more of their own. Within these next 2 picks holds the fate of John Porler for the remainder of this match. And it's double time 2. They're still avoiding that double time 1 with the speed aim. I wonder if they just don't want that short minute and 10-second long map. But it did work out for them earlier on the double time 4 at only a minute long on the double time 4, 300 BPM. Amacetic was the one that was able to pull that one through. Likely double time 1 could end up in the same fashion later, but they might just be saving it. Double time 2 a little bit more confident. The Poles have not fared well on the double times thus far, and they are out of hard rock. Looking for the rosters to be solidified on the double time map here. Again, we've seen John Porler traditionally with the advantage on these speedier maps. That momentum, now having been broken, gives them the opportunity to really find a foothold. Amacetic 315, Caleb and Suntan versus Bartek, TARDIS, Mishni, and Luzna of Dark. Again, some fast DTs in this pool. We're kicking up the star rating in these later weekends here, so we are getting speedy. But there are strong speed players on both sides here. A little bit more comfortable at the start. Really going to wait to see that first break is where things are going to go sideways potentially for a team. Nobody getting caught out on these sliders, these triples. We're getting into these burstier sections here, the longer streams. Who will be able to hold? No buzz slider breaks yet. Big section. Everyone makes it through. It's a very small accuracy lead for John Porler, and they need that. They are hoping for a break from the Polish side, though. They cannot afford anything at this venture. Struggling on Mishny for the accuracy right now. That is not good for the Poles. They cannot afford that miss. The first break here from either team, and it's Mishny's stamina to run out. Everyone else in the lobby perfectly fine. Unfortunately, that fourth player just not able to match up. And that's a 4 million score gap almost immediately for John Porler. If they can make it through this section, that's just going to be the map. And it looks like that might be it. A quarter of the way through the 4-way FC versus 3. And it's that one player difference, unfortunately. No more breaks outside of Mishny. Emasetic does find the combo break, but I think it's too late. The ending of the map with the stamina, there is just not enough left at the end here. Luzna of Dark finding a break will solidify anything that could have potentially gone otherwise, but even then, it does not matter. Double FC holding for John Porler. Tardis to find the break. It's going to be one more drop from John Porler, and we're actually only going to end up with 2 FCs in the lobby after all that. That ending unbelievably difficult with the stamina, but Bartek and Suntan to bring it in. Unfortunately, more misses, and that early break from Mishny on the Polish side going to be giving John Porler yet another pick. That is their own, though, so not a big error from them. They still have a break point of advantage that John Porler needs to make up. But this momentum now well in their favor. 3 maps in a row for John Porler. That's 2 of their own pick and 1 break point, and that leaves them 1 away from being able to tie this match up on another break point. And the Poles need to find a comfortable spot immediately in order to cut this momentum down. The last possible pick that could put the Poles up to tiebreaker. And it's going to be Nomad 3. It's going to be Delirium. We're jumping into the tech maps now, the Mir tech map. It is doubles, back and forths, low BPM, high density, high aim requirement. And there's a lot that could go wrong on this map, depending on how comfortable you are with those back and forths. Player is going to take a little while to maybe get in for this one, plan it out. This is a pretty major map. And it's not even the one that could win the match for either of these two teams, but it could certainly decide whether or not John Porler is able to force their hand back into this match. Only a single pick left. The Poles have been here for 3 maps in a row, just right at the door of forcing tiebreaker, and they have been held here. John Porler making headway. One map left to go to tie it up. And if they're able to win this map, that means it goes to their own pick, and that means they could potentially force match point before the pulls. Roster's looking to be set. Suntan, Caleb, Amacetic 315, Koshiarik, Mishni, Illusion of Dark, and Alimentaire. One of the first maps we're seeing Bartek not in for. Now, I'm unsure of what that means. For the Polish side here. But they do have good tech players outside of that. We're looking for a big step up from them. This is what could potentially be their final opportunity to force match point before John Porler really makes this difficult for them. This is the second of the 2 break points that John Porler needs to get into this match fully. 315 with a Buzz Slider break off the beginning. It really isn't going to matter that much. But it certainly is going to give the Poles the start they want. We're not into the hard part of the map yet, so again, that's why I say that really isn't going to make too much of a difference. Accuracy confident on every player on the right-hand side. And we'll wait until the map starts, but this is going to be the intro. This is the point of no return in this map. It does not get easier after this build-up. 4v1, all that matters is how long they hold these combos, and here we go. Cut streams to start into the doubles. Amacetic to find the first break, cut strong, back and forth. Koshiarik, note locks on the doubles. Now for the back and forths coming up next. Still holding strong, it's 1 FC to 1 now. Mishni versus Suntan, and here we go. Who holds through? Mishni, known for being a confident tech player over time, but he under-aims one of the back and forths. Does Suntan hold through the entire intro? With the hidden, no less. Suntan finally finds the break, but not before bringing it back to only 100,000 score difference. Suntan did enough to make sure that the Poles couldn't run away with this one, and this map is going to be close. That is a major score lead from Suntan, keeping this map at only 600,000 score difference. That break from Koshiarik is big, and that score is going to stay exactly where it is. They need that next break to come from the Polish side if you're John Porler right now. And it's Luzhna of Dark to find a break. It's not going to be the biggest miss ever, but that one from Alimentaire is. That's 300 combo down, and that's the score lead back. Does John Porler have it in them? Can they hold it down for just another quarter? It's Luzhna of Dark to find another break, and the Poles are falling apart. They see the combos. They see the score. It is a 2 million lead, and John Porler to come back from 1.4 maps in a row in the final quarter here. Can they maintain? They have a serious combo lead right now. They have effectively 900 plus combo of lead unless we see a break on all 4 players from John Porler and Mishni and Koshiarik to hold. This one may be over already. The doubles into the ending. Nobody can slip up on these. Koshiarik is the one to mess up on a basic linear. And that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. John Porler, they are back. They are in it to win it. And they are going to go to their own point to force match point. Significant series of unfortunate breaks from the Polish side here, but John Porler just better as a team on this map. Caleb with an amazing backup performance to Suntan's here at the ending as well, but Suntan, the real hero of this map, to hold off Mishni during that introductory section into a major combo into the ending. Certainly not alone though. Caleb who may actually put up the top score in the lobby into this ending. Yes, they will. Unbelievable. The hidden players for John Porler bringing it in with an 1100 combo at the ending. And that is John Porler, one map away from match point. They were down 5-1. And all it took was that own pick, the double break point back, and the momentum to hold it down. And that is one more map. The Poles have been stuck one away from match point for the entire match. They've been knocking on the door. They've been ringing the bell, and nobody has answered. And they need it to come within one of these next two maps. The confidence needs to come back. The momentum needs to be shifted. And John Porler must be stopped for them to have a chance here. It's John Porler's pick first. So not only do the Poles need one more map to even force the match point despite being here the entire time, but John Porler's going to have the opportunity to get there to start. And it's a DT5 called by Amacetic. It's Leia. It's the Speed Bursts. This is another map in this pool that everyone should know. Everyone has experience with this pick. The question is, who's more comfortable, who's more confident, and who has the momentum? And right now, on the mechanics in this match, it is John Porler. Gonna take a little bit to get these rosters set in here. But it's very important that they get these rosters right. Any slip up on a single player or a lack of confidence is going to be a major, major downfall of one of these two teams. The Poles got hit pretty hard with that fourth player on the stamina map earlier in DT2. John Porler definitely better overall as a team. Again, they've had the lead on this mechanics skill set the entire match. Good luck, have fun. The rosters have been set. They have been decided. Not a super long map, but a fast one. Leia, 2 minutes on the dot, effectively. Big beginning breaks from both sides here. We're really just not going to call anything until we get into this burst section here. This is where the speed is going to take hold. And it's a triple break from John Porler! Disaster strikes Bartek and Luzhna of Dark, the 2 to hold. And it's just Caleb, the early break from John Porler. What has happened in that section? The worst possible outcome for John Porler, and with Bartek and Luzhna of Dark both holding, it's the worst scenario. They see the combos, and Bartek a legacy tournament player. He has played this map dozens of times, but he over-aims on the most simple section of the map. It once again comes down to Luzhna of Dark, and they have to go up against a one big combo on Caleb, and there's no supporting score on the side of the Poles. Will it happen? Will John Porler end up winning the map anyway? It's only 200,000 score to come back right now. It's Luzhna to hold down, but it's Caleb to match that combo. 315 and Suntan are in it to win it on the supporting scores, and the Poles have somehow let a double FC slip away from them. The note density is down. It's a 1,000,000 score difference for John Porler now, and they are just going to bring this one into the finish now. Bobiak to find another break. 315 to trade, but it doesn't matter as long as Caleb holds this combo. Luzhna of Dark to break, and John Porler, despite the triple break, despite all of the misses, will hold it. And they will force match point. The Poles have been held off for long enough, and 5 points at the beginning. Be damned. John Porler will take match point, and they are looking to win this match without going to tiebreaker, potentially. It comes back to the Polish side now. One more map. A single point stands between John Porler and winning this match, and 1 point stands between the Poles and getting to tiebreaker. We mentioned it earlier. They have had one map standing between them and tiebreaker for 5 consecutive points, and they have not been able to make it work. After the greatness that we saw, the solo carries, the performances at the start of this match, will it all be for naught? Will John Porler shut them down without a tiebreaker to speak of after all of this effort? Will it be lost? It comes down to this last map here. What do you even do at this point in the match? How do you maintain your sanity after losing 5 consecutive maps, being so close to match point, now faced with the prospect of potentially not even getting the tiebreaker that you've been waiting for the entire time? Have they lost the timer? Have they missed the pick timer? It's a no mod 4 call, but that was quite a serious delay past the timer there. I am not a host of this tournament, so certainly not my judgment call as to whether or not that's going to go through. It's going to be up to John Porler and the referee, I would say, to determine whether or not this no mod 4 pick will be taken, but it is Valhalla if it is. I think it's, at this point, it's up to, in by 1 second. Hello? 1 second? Wow. And in fairness, I assumed that the Polish team would have been able to use their, timeout as leverage for more time if necessary as well, so I'd say they had a safety net there, but regardless, they were really cutting that one down to the wire. But certainly taking their time on this last pick, they're going to opt to go back in for the tech. Despite Delirium not going particularly well for them, Valhalla a little bit more slider favored and a little bit less of that density aim. A completely different map. Suntan, Caleb, and Amacetic in right now. Bartek, Mishny, Kosciarek, and Alimentaire in early. They have decided their roster almost immediately for the Polish side here. John Porler, the last to be in, but still looks like a confident tech roster. Here we go. The final map. The last stand for the Polish team after being here for so long. So many picks. Can they make it work? It has been almost 45 minutes for the Poles to be sitting at one map away from match point. That's 45 minutes of agony, 45 minutes of fighting for John Porler to get back to where they are right now. And it's Bartek to find a Buzz Slider break at the beginning. Not a good start. This map is significantly shorter than Nomad 3 by a minute and a half. That means that Buzz Slider break we saw in Nomad 3 was significantly less important than that one from Bartek there, but it's still going to come down to the rest of the map here. Who's more confident? Who's going to have the aim? Who can hit the sliders? It's Amacetic and Caleb to find a double break. It's just Bartek on the trade, and they need this now. One Tabby to find the break. Suntan CTM needs to be the hero. He needs to be the savior to hold. He is the only thing standing in between the Poles and running away with the end of this match. It's 3 FCs to 1. Alimentaire to break on the slider stream. We see no trades besides Amacetic, but they had already dropped the combo. For every FC trade we see in this lobby favors John Porler. Bartek with a great recovery on that break at the start. It's one Tabby and Amacetic to break. Mishny, yet another FC falls, yet Suntan remains. Kosciarek has to be the one to do it. Has to be the one to hold. Alimentaire drops the supporting combo. It's 80 Nuggets and Suntan versus Kosciarek and Bartek. And Suntan finds the break. Kosciarek holds. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to tiebreaker. Bartek with the break, Kosciarek with the miss, and 80 Nuggets can certainly not do this by himself. There's no way, no how. John Porler, they cannot do it. The ending of the map is too close, and it's so close in the ending. And the Poles make it work. The tiebreaker makes its appearance, and we are once again, for the second time this weekend, going to be seeing Tojita Sekai, and it's a tech map. We saw Nomad 3 go the way of John Porler. We saw Nomad 4 go the way of the Poles. Now, who takes the mechanical favored tech map? In Tojita Sekai, it's consistency, it's sliders, it's rhythm switches, it's aim, it's everything you expect from a tiebreaker, all packed into 6.5 minutes of gameplay. After so long, after one map on the board for John Porler, they bring it back, and after 5 consecutive losses, the Poles finally make their last pick work. Our first tiebreaker since yesterday at 16 UTC. We get a second tiebreaker for the weekend, and tiebreaker does need the 2 hiddens. And that could be a difference maker on a map like this, having 2 confident hidden players. You never know. We've seen big standout performances this weekend on this map, especially from Jackpacks in the first time we saw this map. An unbelievable 2,000 combo, the #1 no-fail score on the map, and a top 15 score on the map overall. So we have seen an unbelievable combo on this map once this weekend. Can we see it again from either one of these teams? We've had players playing exceptionally well on both sides today, but who is going to be the one to make it work in the end? The Poles, they did so much front-end lifting and finally made it work at the end, but John Porler, their fight at the ending of this match has brought them to where they are. Will all of their work be for naught? Or will they make it to the finish? The Pole's going to be using a timer extension, the timeout. Make sure everything gets all set up. They're taking the timeout before the tiebreaker. Into the lobby. Wait for the players to get settled.
Did somebody say tiebreaker?
Oh my god, stealing the cast and tiebreaker? Unacceptable. Welcome, Hubba.
I just got out of a banger Austria-Hungary versus UK match. So,
did it go to tiebreaker?
It did not, unfortunately.
Damn.
But Austria-Hungary, Cinderella story, got 4 points against the UK, who I have projected to win. So, good on them.
Easy.
Still making it out.
Well, we've got no projections for who's to win this tiebreaker. The Polish team up 5-1 at the start of the match. Lost 5 consecutive points in a row to John Porler to get to tiebreaker and managed to sneak out their last pick before tiebreaker to bring it here. And here we are at the culmination of all of that effort, all of this time. It's been 45 minutes since the Poles went up 5-1. And it all comes down to tiebreaker. Hidden on Caleb, hidden on Suntan, hidden on Alimentar, and hidden on Bartek. Those are our 4 mod players. Easy intro, very light, aimy, bursty, very simplistic. It's a mechanical style tech map, so very, very light intro. I am extremely surprised that Tony is taking no mod on this tiebreaker, to be honest.
Is he Hidden Comfort?
He is definitely the person I would have placed on Hidden for this. In hindsight, in traditional Tony fashion. But I think there's a lot of players in here that are pretty capable of playing hidden, so I don't mind it too much. Tony's still a very good player on the no mod, especially for this skill set. The part that's going to concern me is the part that's going to come after this mechanics section here at the beginning. I don't imagine anyone's going to have too much trouble here at the intro unless we see a buzz slider break. But the part that's really going to catch people off guard is going to be that rhythm switch at the beginning where it really starts in. You got those 1/4 mixed into the 1/3 triangles. Elementere going to find the first early break. That's 500 combo gone from the pulls. And there goes Bartek as well, actually. The pulls finding 2 breaks at this early intro section. And it's on both of their hidden players, no less. That is a very, very unfortunate early bad start for them. And a very good 3 million score lead for John Porler at the start here. 6.5 minutes long. That's only a quarter of the map in here. But here's where it actually starts. There is an opportunity for Mishni or Koshiarek to put up a majority combo here still at the beginning. Again, we saw Jackpax put up 2,000 combo on this map yesterday, a top 15 score on the map. Will we see a similar performance from anyone here? They have to make it through this intro tech section.
Yeah, players start to ramp up to this 1K combo mark as the map ramps up. It's Koshiarek with the only full combo on the Polish side. Meanwhile, John Porler looking strong. Another break from Bartek, and already it's a 10 million score lead for John Porler. Big 1/3 triangles, and these combos are just not staying through. It's 1.1 growing for them. And John Porler, I mean, with the SV1, already those early breaks make this map very dire straits for the Bulls. They need a disaster to strike this John Porler team. And it may be starting. It's 80 Nuggets, Caleb, for the first break on the Porler side. One of those hiddens gone, but still, Amacetic, Suntan, Tony holding on tight.
Unbelievable stuff from John Porler here. They do find double breaks on that long stream. It's once again down to Amacetic. We've seen this before. But Koshiarek has done an unbelievable job of holding alongside him. This could be down to whoever holds the longer combo here. We're 500 combo away from that massive performance from Jackpax yesterday. But this is an unbelievable lead from John Porler. Koshiarek, despite having this big FC right now, Amacetic finds a break, but I was going to say Koshiarek has no support from his teammates whatsoever. It was almost a 30 million score lead for John Porler off of those breaks, and it's all down to Koshiarek, who finds a break on a long slider. He misses a slider tick, and that may have just lost the Bulls the map. That may have done it on a slider tick.
That is so tragic. Still recovery's growing, but it's evened out. Tony, lowest combo, it's Suntan, 80 Nuggets, matching Elementere, Bartek, Michny. But with this 20 million buffer, it is all but over. Only a third of the map remaining.
No support. Absolutely nothing. It was Koshiarek with no army. It is 10 million plus score for every player on John Porler, and every single one holding combo into the build-up here. And it is only Koshiarek, Elementere breaking into the slider intro, only Tony into the mechanics section at the ending. It's the flow aim. Koshiarek falls, Elementere falls. It's just Michny, but there is nothing he can do. There is nothing stopping John Porler. You cannot make this up. It is from 1 point on the board all the way back. 5 in a row goes to tiebreaker, and they make it work. They push it through, and with a major score gap to boot, 26 million on the board for John Porler. And even though we only have a quarter of the way left to go in the map, there is nothing the Polish team can do right now. No combos, no support, and it is all but lost. The work does not pay off. 45 minutes of constant fighting from John Porler, and they make it work. The higher seeded team does end up getting to move on today, and they will face off against the Irishmen next weekend after what is an unbelievable withholding from them.
The raw determination of these two teams coming to fruition in this tiebreaker. John Porler doing what needed to be done. It's that team consistency, those huge combos in the tail, or in the beginning half. Amacetic now Excel streams and continuing. It's a near 30 million score lead for John Porler, who will fight the good fight, live to see another day.
Nothing to happen here at the ending. It was set in stone early and continuing to have a better performance from them. Even at the ending, the hidden as well. Suntan rocking this in right now. It's some pretty decent combos from the pulls at the ending with the tech section here, but it is just all for naught. The lowest score on John Porler, a 19 million from Tony, is their lowest score overall as a team, besting 3 of the 4 players on their Polish counterparts, and a 23 million from Kosiarek that ends up being beaten by both Suntan and Amacetic and John Porler. What a performance from this team. What a masterclass coming out from the number 1 BWS seeded team in the tournament and the 5th seed out of group stages to make it to next weekend. Unfortunately, that will be the last we'll see of this Polish roster in Hippo Cup this year, but what a valiant effort and what an unbelievable start from them in this match.
Yeah, Kosiarek proving his worth, getting top score in the lobby. This Polish rookie, definitely one to look out for as everyone starts healing out. And John Porler will continue on. You said they're going against the Irishmen next week?
They are facing off against the Irishmen next week. That is a tough matchup, a legacy team as well. Not quite the Irishmen we used to see, but certainly a powerhouse nonetheless. And they're going to be looking to turn some heads this year as well as one of the higher seeded teams. But we are not done with Hippo Cup for the weekend. As much as we'd like to linger on here and go through all the possibilities, we have one more matchup to be set for next weekend coming up in approximately 20 minutes. It's Meowing Simulator versus Worldwide Choppers to finish off the semifinals weekend of Hippo Cup. We've seen 2 tiebreakers this weekend, and this match definitely has the potential to see a third if all goes according to plan for both of these teams. But we're not done for the day. We're going to take a little bit of a pause. We'll come back to you in about 20 minutes for that next match. Thank you all for joining us for this amazing matchup between John Porler and wiedza2. And we will be back in just a little bit with our final match of the weekend. We'll see y'all then.
See you soon.